Hi guys, welcome back to my channel To Game Together. As always, the goal of this channel is to provide education about and to raise awareness as to what it's like living with Tourette Syndrome. Today's video is going to be talking about something that is not good, but I feel that attention needs to be brought to it. So I'm just gonna jump right into it. I recently signed up for Twitter just to kind of broaden my platform and promote my videos, as well as meet other people out there who have Tourette Syndrome, and it was kind of a bad idea. Twitter has been saying some awful things about Tourette Syndrome. Well, I guess not Twitter, but people on Twitter. It is brutal, the stuff they're saying. It is not good at all. And so I decided to type in the hashtag Tourettes just to see what people were saying and to see if I could meet some new friends for the community and just see kind of what was being said. And some of the first stuff I saw, it really irks me. Some of the first stuff I saw was there's this new trend that Donald Trump has Tourette Syndrome. If you don't know, he doesn't. And people are using the excuse of Tourette Syndrome for his blatant rudeness and just bad overall demeanor. So that was really a shock. And it's not just one or two people. It's a big group of people on Twitter saying that Donald Trump has Tourette Syndrome, and I'm going to show you some of the tweets because this is just brutal. One person says, "I worry that Trump has Tourette's and will get our nation into an unnecessary conflict." And lots of people are using the term Tourette's to describe him and his way of living. Now, I by no means am saying that Donald Trump is some amazing guy, but I'm saying that he doesn't have Tourette Syndrome just because he says things that you don't agree with. Another quote is that he basically just says blah 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 like someone with Tourette Syndrome on national television. I guess the reason I'm making this video, besides being very upset, is to talk about Tourette Syndrome as a descriptive term. There is such a negative stigma surrounding Tourette Syndrome and using the term Tourette's as like a derogatory term, and I honestly thought it was getting better, but after seeing this, it is clearly not getting better in our society. Donald Trump does not have Tourette Syndrome, and the fact that, sure, sometimes he says horrible things on national television, that doesn't mean he has Tourette's, and you can't say that. You have no right to say that. Just because you don't agree with what someone says doesn't mean you can say they have Tourette Syndrome. Just because you're mad at the way they articulate themselves doesn't mean you can say they have Tourette Syndrome. Tourette Syndrome is a neurological disorder that affects the brain, and it causes people like me to make involuntary movements and sounds known as tics. And these movements and sounds, like I just said, are involuntary. The things that Donald Trump says in his speeches and stuff, like, those are not involuntary. That's what he wants to say, and it's not Tourette Syndrome. This just makes me so upset with humanity, really. Saying that someone has Tourette Syndrome just because they're saying things that you don't agree with, like I said, or just being like, that isn't even Tourette Syndrome at all. Another thing that has been popular on Twitter is saying, I think so-and-so has Tourette's because they've done something a certain way that people don't agree with. One of the examples is a tweet that says, "What does this even say? Like, I'm so serious. I think my teacher has Tourette's." And the image underneath it was just kind of like illegible writing. And you can't, like, oh my gosh, why are people saying this? Another one that really irked me talks about how Trump has Tourette's disease because he is a beephole and his disease is spreading hate. Since when does Tourette Syndrome spread hate? I know that some people have coprolalia, 10 to 15% of us do, and that is the tic that causes involuntary utterances of swear words or socially unacceptable phrases, and this is completely involuntary. The people that are saying these things, they don't believe it, but I believe that what Donald Trump is saying, like, he does believe, and it's not involuntary. please, if you're out there, stop using Tourette syndrome as a descriptive term, please. It shouldn't be a derogatory thing. It shouldn't be some negative thing that you could say, oh, you have Tourette's because you're swearing. Oh, you have Tourette's because you're being ignorant. Like, no. Another thing that people are saying is that Trump supporters have Tourette syndrome, and you can't use the term Tourette syndrome to describe people that don't have Tourette syndrome. It's not like a joking term. It's not a term you can use to describe things. Like, it's not. It's like saying, oh, I'm so OCD, or oh, that's so bipolar. Like, why are you saying that if it's not true? You can't just decide that someone has Tourette syndrome. It should not be used as a descriptive term, and Twitter is really, really failing in this way. I'm very, very upset. As someone who's lived with Tourette syndrome my whole life, this is really upsetting. There are so many tweets that are just brutal, and I wanted to share some because, like, it's so wrong. And I don't mean to just be like ranting away, but I want to raise awareness, and I want people to know that Tourette syndrome isn't a descriptive term. It is actually a neurological condition, and it shouldn't be mocked or laughed at. Like, no, Donald Trump does not have Tourette syndrome, so stop spreading those rumors. Oh my gosh. Tourette syndrome is ticking, like you're seeing me doing now. It's ticking and not being able to control it, and it is brutal. So please stop, please. I'm just very, very frustrated, and I just wanted to spread the word that the stigma surrounding Tourette syndrome is still very prevalent, and I wish it wasn't. So if you're out there, please don't use Tourette syndrome as a descriptive term or a derogatory term. Use it in the right way. Like, I can say I have Tourette syndrome because I do, and I'm not gonna say, oh, you have Tourette's because you're swearing. Like, no. Like I said, it is a neurological disorder. Please stop making it some kind of derogatory thing, you know? Just please. I don't know how many more people out there can say this. Like, this is not okay. Someone even went as far as making a t-shirt that says, I suffer from Trump onset Tourette syndrome. This is not okay. No one should ever buy that shirt. No one should ever wear that shirt. That shirt should have never been created. I'm beyond done. So I just wanted to do a brief rant. I might make an update on this video because I feel like I didn't get everything that I wanted to say out there, but this was spontaneous, and I just needed to say this because I'm very upset and it needs to be talked about. So if you want to stay tuned to more videos about Tourette syndrome and the truth behind it, please subscribe to my channel, because the goal of this channel here is to break the stigma, and all of this stuff that I've talked about is clearly adding to the stigma, and we don't want that. So please subscribe if you want to help me with my goal. I would also love it if you would give this video a thumbs up to let people know that Donald Trump does not have Tourette syndrome, and this is complete poo. And yeah, leave a comment down below saying hi, telling me what you want to see in future videos, or letting me know how you feel about this. Like, am I wrong to be completely disgusted by this? I don't know. Anyways, I'm gonna go. Just super frustrated, and yeah.